In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and Merciful, I open and bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who came in the person of Master Quran Muhammad, whom all praise is due to him. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his exalted Christ. I greet you in the Arabic words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, my brothers and sisters. My name is Day, spelled with an X, not a Y. And I chose this moment to share with you a portion of my 30-year travel of understanding the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I believe that what I am about to impart is very germane and crucial for our well-being over the next few hours. As a matter of mathematics, the math don't lie. From the mouth of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I am told, from the beginning of his teachings to his very last publication, Theology of Time, that the Bible, a book of books, has warnings in it. If understood, you would know the time. And to quote one of his fine ministers, Brother Jabril Muhammad, he once wrote that Elijah Muhammad said the exact time is in the Bible if you know how to look, or if you know where to look. Forgive me if I made an error in the exact phraseology. In any event, I am about to take you to the book of Haggai. Haggai means festive, derived from the word festival. And I want to pick as my subject that because it's Bible. Elijah Muhammad taught extensively out of the Bible, and because the majority of our people are still in the Bible, probably so, but their understanding of it, of course, is wanting. We believe to this day that a man who for 500 years wouldn't treat us right would teach us right. That's a grave area. And to teach us right about the most important subject of all, God, well, if we had known the truth of God, had we remained slaves for that long? Of course. So it is not wise to believe that he taught us right about anything. And so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has come to reveal him and make us to understand that we need a new way of thinking. And so we will take Haggai because it contains a riddle dealing with time. And each time I ask one for an understanding, I got no intelligent response. In the second chapter, there's only two, of Haggai, at the 16th verse, this statement is made. Since those days were, when one came to a heap of 20 measures, there were but 10. And I asked, is that mathematically possible? To come to a heap, a pile, a collection of 20 things, there be but 10? No, that is not per se mathematically possible. But the pertinent word there, the pivotal word is but, the little word. If you remember, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, in his last speech once told us to beware of the devil because he is through trying to fool us in big things and he'll be trying to fool us in little things. And you will find in scripture, when you diligently chase after understanding of the words of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, those little words are always pivotal. of, but, the, and the likes thereof. In this case, the etymology, knowing its importance, as Elijah Muhammad informed us, they hid the time from us. They made obscure the etymology of that word. But when you chase it diligently, you find that it means to join in to end, or but together, which they today spell B-U-T-T. When you substitute the word for the etymology meaning, you have 20 but 10, or 20 joined together with 10. That would give you a figure of 2010. If it was a calendar reading, and it is, then it's 2010. The preceding verse, 15, and a subsequent verse, 18 of that chapter 2, prays that we would consider a certain degree of time dealing with the rebuilding of the temple of the Lord. And they give you two aspects of building: the foundation and the laying of stone upon stone. This giving us the direction of how to read the figures in which I'll bring forth next. Well, we know that before you can lay a stone upon a stone, you must cultivate your land. You must make a foundation, flatten the land, grade the land, and whatever else it takes depending on what you're building, where you're building. And then you begin to lay stone upon stone. In the 14th verse of the first chapter, they begin to do work in the house. And so these references refer to two times, they are two dates in which they want you to focus on, and the order in which they give it is telling you how to read it. Think backwards. Because the first one is given stone upon stone. Well, that's the second. And the last one says the foundation from the foundation, and that's the first, though it was given second in order. Now let's take our attention to what they're referencing. From before they did any work, laid stone, or established foundation, there are two dates. The first verse of chapter 1, the date is second year, 6th month, first day of the month. In verse 15, which is the last verse of that chapter, otherwise first and last, beginning and end, the date is the 24th day of the month, 6th month, second year. So it's a reverse. Year, month, day, and then at the end, day, month, year. What comes to mind immediately, if you have studied world calendars as suggested by Mother Tanyetta Muhammad, is the reckoning terms BC and AD. BC time, before Christ, meaning counting down from their account for BC down to 1 BC. And the next year began the AD time, counting up from 1 to this date, 2014. These two verses represent the time of our calendar history where Europe reformed the calendars. Coming out of BC time, they dropped 2 years and 10 days. In 1752, coming in accord with the Pope's decree of 1582, the crown ordered 11 days dropped out of our calendar, and he changed the new year from the 25th of March back to January 1st. This dropped 3 months and shifted the order in which we read our months by 2. Therefore, to this date, December, meaning 10, is the 12th month. October, meaning 8, is now the 10th month. When we take this into account, we go back and we simply add the time in which these two represent. If the 15th, the end, is AD time, and the first verse is BC time, what time did they drop in BC time? Well, the Jews reckon their calendar back to the creation of the world. We know they do lie. But it was the creation of their world. And in the creation of their world, they had the first year being but 6 days. And then in time, they changed the orientation or the reference point of telling time, which we tell by the equinox. They changed the orientation from the autumnal, equinox to the vernal equinox. Otherwise, they went from what we now call September to what we now call March. That dropped 6 months out of a year, and we'll count them as 2 years, or the makings of 2 years, for which is called in the second. And so now we have a number of 2 and 2 is 4, that's the 4th year. We have 6 and 6 is 12, that's the 12th month. We have 1 and 24, that's the 25th day. Sound familiar? The birth of Jesus, 404 or 404 BC, or 4 BC, excuse me, which is, of course, to be explained as a mistake of a certain monk named Dennis, at least his name, Diodonis, or however you pronounce that, excuse me, means Dennis. And so a Dennis miscalculated in the beginning of this calendar history or account, and I was born Dennis. So let's see if a Dennis can help straighten out Dennis's mistakes or miscalculations. Believe me, they were no miscalculations. If we take the 4 years in which they therefore dropped out of time accounts and add them to the 2010, the date becomes 2014, 12th month, 15th day. If we rotate the months as caused by the reforms of 1752, the 12th month becomes again the 10th. And if we drop the 10 days, where we went to bed October 4th and woke up on October 15th, once again the day is the 15th, for a date of 10/15/2014, October 15, 2014. Mathematics do not lie. It's plain and it's simple. Elijah Muhammad is trustworthy. So now the question is there warning in the book of Haggai, the 2nd chapter? Allah says, yet a little while, it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth and destroy everything. Now I'm paraphrasing that, so I won't keep making mistakes. But what he said in totality was, I'm going to destroy it all. This is a prophecy that has not been fulfilled. I can assure you that those dates will come out of every place there is one. as testified by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I can assure you that every time one asked Allah to tell the time, and he gave an answer, he gave that date. Surah 75, Daniel chapter 12, and even volunteered it in Surah 103. But now Jesus is the one you're going to talk to me about now, because that's what you told me for years. No man knows that day. Says so in the Bible. No, it doesn't. When Jesus said of that hour and day, no man knows, he was making reference to his previous statement when he said heaven and the earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. So no man knows the day or the hour that the heaven and the earth will pass away, because God ain't never said nothing about them passing away. Said I might destroy it, and I might shake them up and destroy you with them. Then he ain't said they was going nowhere. That they abound forever. And so, what did he mean with, therefore, the coming of the Son of Man? He said, as the days Noah was. And he said that they were eating and drinking. That's festival, feast, Haggai. And they would be marrying and giving in marriage. Well, if we're to understand the prophecy, it must be something big enough for everybody to see. And how does something become so big that we all can see it and understand it once, or at least see it? It becomes newsworthy, and they put it on the news. Worldwide news today is gay marriage. No matter what else is going on, gay marriage. So now let's check the very words. The coming of the Son of Man. The Son of Man, 4 words. We were taught by Mother Kenyatta Muhammad how to resolve, otherwise alphanumerically, come up with figures. This derives from the ancient times in which universally we use the alphabets of every culture who were civilized for mathematical calculations. Otherwise, they represented letters and numbers. The one still in use today, of course, is Roman numerals. So when we resolve those 4 words and listen to the wisdom of Jesus, we get the resolves to 15, Son would be 10, 15, 14, for a count of 9, 10, 11, 21. And so our number now is 1521. Of resolves to 12. So our number is 15, 21, 12. And man resolves to 10. 15, 21, 12, 10. And the first shall be last. And so we take, and the last shall be first. So we take the number 15 and put it first. So now we have 1510. Excuse me. We take the number 10, the last, and put it first. And so now we have 10, 15, 21, 12. And this being a AD calendar reckoning, we add the 2 years you drop it, because you drop time don't mean Allah's clock stopped. And so that 2 to 12 is 10, 15, 2014. And so in the very words you used to say that Jesus said, he was actually trying to give you the time. If you but know. I don't have the time to break down my 30 odd years of studying and to verify to you all that I have not verified simply with this chart and that breakdown of the Son of Man. However, if you find this conversation of interest, you are more than willing or able, you are more than welcome to contact me and I can inform you further and send you an email that I am sending out called Clear Evidence. If I am wrong, I welcome your mockery in the morning. But I love you. And so I share out of what I love. I fear for us. And so I am not cowardly. I have come forth with my understanding and mathematics do not lie. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad again is trustworthy. He said that no man knows that day until that day comes. I used the thing day because it was the name of the first physical man. Genesis 1:3. And he named the light, the consciousness, the mind, day. And it's capitalized. No other time in the Bible is the word day capitalized. Of course, we use it as it uses it when you see down later in verses because it means supreme ruler or executive ruler, excuse me. And it was used by Muslims and Sheiks and Turks and Moroccans and others. And it means uncle. Some would put on their maternal uncle, which I believe is an adage for the simple reason you're not going to call your ruler your maternal uncle, but uncle. And so when Master Farad Muhammad came along, came looking for his uncle, his dad, his days. Many words in scripture are used metaphorically and symbolically to protect the truth. What God told Daniel, seal it up. Seal is a number that resolves to, a word that resolves to 21. And it is in that number, code, that the scripture is coded. 1, 2. What's on one side is on the other. So 1, 2, 2, 1. A code so simple even the niggas can't miscount, knowing that that's what we would be when the end came, a bunch of niggas. So much so, it's our middle name, and we're proud to wear it. However, if I call you ignorant, you're going to shoot me, depending on what's in your pocket. So that proves our problem. And so with niggas, the degrees in which these understandings come out would be very difficult. And so Allah made it a little easier. And so if you can appreciate the wisdom of this or the understanding I've drawn, and you, if nothing more, are wise enough to rather be safe than sorry, get up and go and share this video with those you love. That would be the greatest act of kindness that you would ever do in your life if this proved to be a correct interpretation. This, again, is a result of a diligent scrutinizing study where every word and number was defined. Check, check, check. Allah would not allow me a clear understanding of it until He used some of it just yesterday, not on this particular message, but of others, such as the days Noah were. Well, in the days Noah were, from your scripture, you found out that Noah was a man who knew the day of the end. He was told yet 7 days. So after the seventh day, from the day in which I speak, so you know what that day is going to be. The last day does not mean the day of destruction. The last day means the last day of time, as you know. The next day is destruction. And so on October 16th, I'm so proud of you boys. I was in the hole for trying to observe October 16th, for trying to share what I love, for trying to get our brothers to raise their hand to Allah, because I perceive October 16th to be the sign of judgment. And if the men had not have made it, we may not have this conversation. We wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So as Abraham was sent and kept coming back, if I can't get 50, I'll say, well, get 20. I'll say, if I can't get 20, I'll say, well, get 10. I'll save them for 10. And what he's saying is, Allah's desire to save greater than his power to destroy. And so for the sake of a few, he'll extend time and pardon the many. Many of us have never done much good in our whole life. But if you would act in accord right now, even if I be wrong, Allah measures your heart, your intent for why you would want to also save someone else. If it proves to be true, how great you will be loved by your beloved. Many of us have no concept of love. I heard a wise woman, or read a wise woman in the final call once. She said, love is a total concern for someone other than yourself. And so when we call God love, we check that definition against his character. And he created us with needs and the ability to satisfy all those needs. So he had a total concern for us. He continues in that way. And if you were really trying to reflect the mind and the will of God, then you too won't be a coward when you go and share something you believe. Now, you share with me your religious persuasion and understanding at all times, but the problem with that is when I ask you for some proof, you give me none, and you argue without knowledge. So I cannot take you as wise. You have no sense of math. In fact, you said in one of your writings, the devil said that numerology was divination. Now, of course, what they teach, calling it numerology today, is a joke. Nevertheless, it is a high mathematic true art form that the wise use to communicate in. It cannot tell you what kind of person you're going to grow up to be, or what kind of day you're going to have, or any of those future telling degrees that it lays out. But it can help you read your scriptures and give you the math. I would love to go on and on, but I do not have the apparatus to make the demonstrations that I would love to share. However, I have manuscripted and if one was to get on to my email, I could download it to you. I will attach my email to this video. I won't go on. I've said what I want to say. No matter what you do, please be respectful. Better safe than sorry. Acts of kindness should be your every state of mind. But if not before, over the next 24 hours, please do not be found in error with an evil disposition. If evil comes to mind, immediately get up and go find somebody to do something good for. I guarantee you, by the time you get through doing the good, you will no longer have the mind to do evil. And if you do a great good, you won't have the strength to go and do evil. I understand I have subjected myself to great mocking and ridicule. I will. Allah has made me very tough to come forth with this message over the years. It gets way more deeper than what I have yet projected. I just look like this. Allah has walked with me for almost 30 years in this search and this study, and He has been good to me. And yet it came at a great price. But I have been a diligent student. I love you, and I wish, as our teacher and our great minister reiterates with their every breath, that you can be saved, redeemed. He's giving you evidence of those UFOs, those motherships, those baby planes. He's giving you evidence of the intent of your former slave master who was actually your current slave master. You ain't never going to. Just the name of the game has changed. For once in your life, if you are not already mindful, listen to what a black man has to tell you. For once in your life, listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for the next 24 hours in any way you can, whether you read articles, a phone call, whether you have his books, whether you know somebody who has his books, whether you can get on YouTube, whether you can get on the Nation of Islam Final Call site, find some kind of way to absorb and breathe in the life-saving words of that man as he conveys the life-saving spirit of his teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Listen to the wisdom of Mother Tinyana Muhammad a little deeper if you have any access to her ongoing unveiling the number 19. Don't have today my man disease where you want and you shut out anybody trying to teach you about God but your man. Your man was a devil. And he ain't never done no good by you. And you can't prove me wrong. Because everywhere you've encountered him, I've encountered him. And I've measured him. And you can't fathom the depth of Satan, as our illustrious messenger told us. All he told us, if you had just followed it, breathed with it, slept with it, woke up with it, ate it, played with it, took it wherever you went with every other thought, and he would surely have you where he promised he could get you, which was so smart you'd have them wrapped around your little finger. Again, forgive the crudeness of my presentation. I have never done this, and it's just me trying to put it together for you. Pay no attention to how I said something, but what I'm saying. The minister has given all he has to bring us to be an acceptable people, and we love it. But when it comes down to expecting that that end can come in your lifetime, that's when you split. So when clear evidence comes, the Quran says, Surah 98, then the believers, the people of the book, became divided. The disbeliever in the last day, or in man knowing the last day, Allah intended for you to know. If I love you and I know you're headed for woe, I intend for you to know and not go there. If I'm merciful, I want you to know how much time you have to get in accord with my law. Now, if that's the case, why wasn't all this made simple a long time ago? Because when the common ignorant devil knows he's got to give up the throne, his way of life, he'll gun you down like a dog. You are not ready to go gun to gun with him, the battle of the bullet, as it would be called. You don't buy bullets, you just got a box or a half, and when you run out, he ain't gonna say you no more if you his enemy. He only get into you when he wants you to kill your brother. Put your gun down today. Sister, put your clothes on today. Mothers, don't neglect your children. Give them the time they need. Fathers, protect your family. Spend and require of them. Enable them to spend the next 24 hours in prayer and peace and humbling themselves. Show that you have a total concern for them, even if you perceive me to be crazy. But no one else ever broke that riddle down for you. That's okay. But don't you be ignorant and not be safe than sorry. I know you got plans. Christians have their old saying about you want to make Allah laugh? Tell them about your plans. They're not in accord with his plans. They don't supersede his plans. The devil changing the clocks and the zodiac, it changed the time. There's not much more I can say. With that, I thank you. If you viewed this video, I appeal, I pray you share it with someone else. Hit that button. Send it where it's got to go. Wherever you love, wherever you know. Don't be afraid to be mocked, laughed at. He raised you first, that you could be angels and messengers, that you can share what you love and save yourselves. And so if each one teach one, we can accomplish it. It happens no other way. So today, all you have to do is share what's been given to you. Whether you can fully understand it or believe it or not, you surely can count the calendar that I just demonstrated. With that, my beloved, I will close as I open in the name of Allah and in the Arabic words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.